Hey y'all, I am sorry I am late. Hoo 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 hoo. I hope you guys can hear me. It's been a crazy weekend. Craziest weekend. Maybe some of you saw, but I performed last night. And it was a secret thing. Hey Allison. It was a secret thing because it was for my drummer's birthday. It's actually his birthday today. He is 31, so show him some love. But yeah, AJ's birthday was last night. He had this whole birthday bash that his girlfriend threw him. I'm glad you guys can hear me. Hey Sandy. But yeah, so we had, so she put together this birthday bash with a few bands playing, including her own band. One of her own bands. She does a Rise Against cover band, and that's the band that was performing that night. And he's a big fan of that group as well. So obviously his girlfriend, but like the group Rise Against. You saw the footage, Sandy. Yeah, I think there's more footage out there. Not like for you guys to view yet, but I haven't seen it either. But there were other people recording. I just haven't gotten it from them yet. But yeah, so his girlfriend Ember, she approached me like a couple weeks ago just to be like, hey, I'm trying to like duet with like AJ's friends and making it all secret. And so I was like, yeah, I'm down. And to Rise Against too, like I know of them. I don't know their music too well. So I basically had to rally. She gives me a list of songs and she's like, okay, pick one. And I was like, all right. So I go through them and I was like, Re-Education is my jam. And I think I can pull this off. And so like all week I had to like just try to memorize the song. Basically, it's okay. We just started just now, Kaiwan. We just started. I was 10 minutes late, so you're good. But yeah, so his girlfriend and I went up on stage, and it was funny how it was pulled off. Because we kind of did a bit. Like the song that she was performing before, she jumps into the crowd and she secretly hands me the mic, and then goes back up on stage, and basically she acts like I don't know where the mic is, and the band starts playing the song, and she's just looking really confused, and then I sing like the first line of the song from the crowd, and then I get up on the stage. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and I haven't done a duet with anyone since I was like a teenager, and even back then it was like not at all like rock and roll songs. It was like ballads and like pretty songs for talent competitions and things like that. So this was like a cool thing for me to do. It was a cool experience, and being up there with a whole new band behind me, and another talented vocalist. Ember is crazy. She's just like a vocal. I don't know. She's just the like. I don't know. She just has this like growl that's just so powerful. So it was just honestly, it was an honor to just be on stage with her. And she's so kick-ass cool. And the fact that she put together this whole show for him, and all these bands came to perform for him. And AJ, he was 3 sheets to the wind. So he had himself a good time, and he was stoked to see me on stage. And we managed to keep it a secret the entire time. Because even the night before, he was like, "Hey, are you gonna come to my party tomorrow?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I think I can make it." It was like none the wiser. So yeah, I love hard rock and metal too. And honestly, like that song is at the top of my range. So I was like, part of me was like, well, I'm only doing the one song. I can give my all because I'm not doing like a 30-minute set here. But like the whole song is the top of my range, and like notes that I haven't even sung live before. So It was fun. It was fun. Um, but yeah. So that was my weekend, and now AJ, I'm sure, is nursing a hangover. Because, again, he was three sheets to the wind, even like pretty early in the night. And I was there for like probably almost 8 hours. Because truthfully, I didn't even know like what time I'd be performing, like anything. So I was just like, just show up at the beginning. I brought like a 15 pack to share with everybody that was there too, and you know, that was that. And the venue was cool too. It's actually the same venue where I'm having my headliner next month, and I'm super stoked. It's gonna be exciting. But enough about me. We are here for the General Hospital After Show. Welcome to the General Hospital After Show. I'm your host, Dion Gabriel. Before we talk about the show itself, the daytime Emmys happened. I almost forgot about them, but I did catch not all of it, but some of it, because it was the same night as AJ's sort of thing. Well, no, it was Friday night, right? So rehearsing, I had to rehearse. Oh man, but yeah, so um, GH sweeps, won in like a big landslide, multiple awards, obviously. And we can talk about them. So Allie Mills, aka Heather Weber, she won for outstanding guest performance in a daytime drama series, and I think she submitted the scene where she realized that she wouldn't be getting out of jail. And she was talking to, I think it was Rick, in her scene. Jonathan Jackson, aka Lucky Spencer, he won for outstanding supporting performance in a daytime drama series in the actor category. And anytime Jonathan Jackson is nominated, I'm like, of course he's gonna win because it's Jonathan Jackson. Like he's hard to beat, And he submitted the scenes where Lucky was devastated about his life choices over the last decade or so being the reason why he couldn't donate to Lulu when she was in a coma, and him just trying to come to terms with that. Nancy Lee Grahn, aka Alexis Davis, she won for outstanding lead performance in a daytime drama series, which is incredible, of course, in the actress category. And it was her scenes being angered about Sam's death, and rightfully so. Like Nancy, the one thing that I've always enjoyed about her performances, hey Angel, um, is that when it comes to like scenes where she's dealing with a death or something absolutely tragic, she brings so much to the scenes because we're so used. Nancy is very much a comedic actress. She's used for a lot of comedic things, including the stories that were going on this week. But like when you get to see her do the drama, she can bring the drama in such a unique way. And so I'm just like stoked for her to get this because lead actress is not like a a thing that someone in a character that's kind of not really a leading character most of the time can actually pull off. So I'm just stoked for her. And yeah, I'm sure like the people that hate her politics are probably angry and freaking out because they can't separate her as an actress to her as a person. But there were, to that end, there were people that were like, I can appreciate that she can act. Me, I've never really had an issue, mostly because we agree with things a lot of the time. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. But I'm stoked for Nancy. And then, so that was kind of it for the actors of GH, but we still won 3 more awards, right? 3 or 4. I think we won 7 total. Let me find out the 7th one, but we'll get. Oh, I know the 7th one. Okay. Anyway, so yes, Sandy, Nancy did the damn thing with Sam's death. Allison, she's not a lead, but the Sam stuff was great. Well, I mean, she kind of was in that story though, and that's the thing is that like she essentially was a lead for Sam's death story. But and that's the thing, people can kind of go back and forth. Allison, yeah, like I said, I do too. She can get a little bit crazy, but like she's not the only one, and certainly not on the other side of the political aisle either. Um, Trump posting about shitting on Americans. Anyway, so all right, but let's talk about the rest of the wins. So GH itself, they won for outstanding writing team for a daytime drama series. Angel, you had said it's a miracle GH won for best writing. Here's the thing: they won specifically for the episode where Christina falls out of Ava's window into the pool, and so that episode was really well written. And that's the thing. I think that people tend to think that GH is up for it and literally all of the they're looking at the whole year. They're not. They're looking at the episode that they submit. And every now and then GH has a solidly written episode that can push them to, to win that category in the writing team. And that episode was well written and it had good shock value. It had good confrontations. It was a jam packed episode that had a lot and had a big climax, and so that's what had them win. And I don't know, shit all about the other episodes that were submitted for the other soaps, but obviously GH must have gotten the best of each submitted category there, or each submission there. So congrats to them. And then so GH also won for outstanding costume design and styling, specifically for the costumes that were used or worn rather for when Anna and Jason were undercover during the trying to track down Lucky. So when they were at the casino and like Anna was like in a fancy dress and I think Jason was in like a white tuxedo. So they, those are great costumes. Angel, you said no other soap opera submitted a better episode that can top a pregnant woman falling out of a hotel window. I guess not, Angel. I guess not. I mean, like I said, who's to say? Next year will be Beyond the Gates. Yeah, so technically, the reason why Beyond, like, if people don't know, Beyond the Gates was not nominated for anything this year because they just started this year, and a lot of this has to do with, everything that went on last year. That's why you have people like Avery, who played Esme, getting nominated, and she hasn't been on in almost 2 years, but she disappeared at the end of or the beginning of last year. And same with Allie Mills, like she hasn't been on for a while either. But what are we saying about GH now that like the people that they've already kind of thrown out the door are the ones getting nominated or the ones that left the show? Because Blaze was also nominated, I think. Gregory was nominated. Obviously they didn't win, but like these are all people that aren't on the show anymore. Oh yeah. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know. GH1 for outstanding directing team in a daytime drama series as well, specifically for Brooklyn and Chase's wedding. I remember that people thought that it was slow paced and weren't enjoying it, and I think there was an argument to be made that they gave up the nurse's ball in favor of putting the budget to this wedding. But I also remember thinking that it was well directed, and saying so in the stream, because it clearly, like, the way that they had put things together, the way that they set up the scenes, the way they were filmed, I thought it was very smooth and impressive for daytime standards these days. So I feel like that was a good win. Might have not been the most thrilling episode, but it was a good win. And that's why they didn't submit that episode for the writing, probably. So, but directing-wise, I think that they like that deserved a win. And again, I can't speak to the other soaps. I don't watch them. but I was thoroughly impressed when that aired in terms of the directing and the editing of that show. So there you go. And then of course GH won the big one, the best or outstanding daytime drama series. And they almost always do. So it never comes to a big surprise to me. Um, so I think we all want GH to succeed. I think ultimately we are fans of the show. We don't want it to suck, and we don't want it to get canceled. We don't want it to be bad. We want it to be enjoyable, and I think that if the people that are putting together these award shows are managing to have GH win, or wanting GH to win, or thinking that they are deserving of the win, I think that we are quite lucky because it shows that they at least once a year manage to bring out one worthy episode that is worth them winning the whole shebang, and winning best writing and winning best directing and costume design. Like, these are not small awards to win. Of course, we're all excited when the actors win their categories, but at the end of the day, like, these specific things, like the writing and the costume design and the directing and all that, like, those are important things to sort of consider. I just wish that GH had the capabilities to do it all year round. But they'd have to have more of a budget so that they can put more thought process into all of their episodes rather than just like the big ones. And obviously, it's always the big ones that they submit. I will say that a lot of the times, I've noticed over the years that GH always puts like their standalone episode where it's like, I think they submitted their Christmas episode one year where they were kind of telling the Scrooge story, and there was another year where it was just like the nurse's ball, and another year where it was a wedding, and so like they're always very specific, like, or like the what if episodes. It's always very specific. So I don't recall what episode they submitted for best outstanding drama series. Maybe I'll look that up quickly here. Uno momento, and sorry if my camera lags as a result. Also apologize in advance. I'm a little stuffy today. Allergies be bothering me, and I'm out of allergy pills. So like, as soon as this stream is over, I'm gonna be run into the store to get some. Let's see. Will it actually show me? Oh, so I think they submitted the Brooklyn and Chase wedding for the outstanding drama series as well. So there we go. So they submitted the same episode for that, for the same as directing. So there you go. There you go. Hey Nathan, we were just discussing the GH Emmy wins. I hope your weekend was good. I was telling these guys at the beginning of the stream that my weekend was crazy. It was my drummer's birthday. Actually, it's his birthday today, and I performed on stage with his girlfriend in a secret performance that he didn't see coming. It was a lot of fun. But now that we've sort of talked about the Emmys, we might as well get into a bit of the show. It's going to be not as structured because I've just been kind of... I've had a lazy day, y'all. I'm not going to lie. Like, yesterday was a lot. But just to kind of get the sort of main things that happened and maybe some of the smaller things. Valentine got to reunite with Charlotte this week. And I will say he has good chemistry with this new actress playing his daughter. And, it was a sweet little scene. I love the bit where she called him Dad instead of Papa. Did any other ABC soap ever win Best Soap? I'm sure they did. I just don't know for sure. But GH doesn't always. Back when ABC had more than one, I don't think they always won. But yeah, um, sweet scenes between them. Uh, Charlotte calling him dad instead of papa was like a step in the right direction. And I know like people will argue that like, the French culture, they grew up in Quebec or lived in Quebec for a while, and so that's why, the word papa is used. I never used papa with my own dad, but it's a thing. It is a thing, but I'm just like, there's so many ways that the writers tend to make Charlotte seem so childish. When she was clearly like growing up, like having her still act like the little girl, um, and calling her papa, and him calling her ma petite, and all this stuff, it always grinded my gears a little bit, like because Charlotte's not a little girl, and also like Valentine, bless James Patrick Stewart, he's not great at French. So it always seems silly, and then they never had Charlotte responding in French either. So like it just was a thing that always got on my nerves. Because like clearly the other actress didn't speak a lick of French, which is why they never made her do it. And so it's like, I don't know. It's a bit silly. It's a bit silly. Um, and Lulu, she sort of laid down the law with Valentine, being like, let her be. She's starting to be like a normal kid. Like let her live in that. And Charlotte, she loves her dad, and she doesn't want to completely have him out of her life. And I think she gets like what his lifestyle is, and I think Lulu gets that. She gets that too. But she just wants more than anything for her daughter to have a normal life. But it's gonna be anything but. The one thing that Valentine did tell Charlotte was to be wary of Brit, to not trust her at all. So he clearly, I think he knows a little more than what he kind of said to Jack, um, and and it has to do with Brit. Brit's obviously neck deep in whatever this Tide phase on thing is. And Anna, she's knowing that there's something afoot in the phase on uh, camp, even if Caesar Phazon is not alive himself. Like Brit and Nathan being alive and well is not a coincidence, and something is up, and it's gonna put Port Charles in danger. And Jack is being coy about it, which is annoying. Um, my biggest fear is that since we've got Britt back and Nathan back, it only stands to reason that it could be a matter of time before we see Peter August back as well. And I don't know what to make of that. I do not want him back, but at this point, you know, it seems like the story has to do with bringing back his kids from the dead in some kind of way. So we'll see what happens there. Austin, you said, yeah, something's up. I hope Nathan is Nathan. I think that Nathan is Nathan. I genuinely do. I just think that he was probably experimented on, and maybe it kind of throws back to the mind mapping thing where, maybe his body was being used to have Phazon's brain or something, I don't know. I mean, they keep bringing up the brain in the jar. Maybe they can use that to mind map him even regardless that it's not in Phazon's body anymore, I don't know. Yeah, the guy that plays Peter August is still dating Carly, Laura Wright. Laura Wright and Wes Ramsey did attend the Emmys together. Don't speak his name. Treat him like Voldemort. He who must not be named. But here's the thing: GH mentioned his name this week too. That's why I'm like, oh boy. It doesn't always happen where it's like they're mentioned and they appear, but given Britt and Nathan, it wouldn't surprise me. And I hope it's not true, but it wouldn't surprise me. I feel like he was talking like Nathan's Kaiwan, like when he was talking to Nina, and we're actually gonna talk about that in a bit. But yeah, I don't think he's acting like Nathan to me. He is acting like Nathan to me. So I don't know. He seems like the Nathan I remember from 7 years ago, personally. And if others don't feel that way, then maybe you can explain why. But for me, he seems like the old Nathan, and I think that it is a mind mapping thing that he is completely oblivious to, and maybe the accident he got in caused him to I don't know, his brain to shift back to normal Nathan, and that maybe it's only a matter of time before he snaps back into whatever he was for the 7 years he was gone. Rather have Jerry Jacks back or even Faison. I mean, yeah, I'd love to see Faison again because he's such a legend, but you know he's getting up there in age himself, so who knows how well he's doing? I don't really know. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, you think he seemed like Nathan this week? Yeah, I did too. I did too, honestly. Um, and to that end, we'll talk about the sort of the Faison family. Uh, Brit or so okay. So Nathan and Obrecht went to have lunch at the Metrocourt, um, and obviously Nathan can see the tension between Brit and her mom, and he tries to broker a peace and invites her to the table at dinner, and she says pass, but then Rocco shows up to have the lunch with them as well, and you know, and then of course Brit decided to join them because of that, and they put their differences aside a little bit, and Nathan even pulled Obrecht aside to cool the tension because even Rocco could see it. So yeah, like Nathan seems like the peacekeeper still. Like he's still like bringing his family together. So he seems like that to me. Um, Sandy said his eyes say wicked. I don't know. I don't see it. Allison, you said he made sense with Nina on Friday. Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about next. So, you know, Willow and Nina, they both got arrested for the attempt on Drew's life. Um, and the PCPD also found out that Nina lied because there's footage of her at her place at the time that she was supposed to be with Willow. And Nina basically has to make a choice to try and go all in on that lie, knowing that everyone already knows it's a lie, and you can try to push for like, oh, it's fake footage, but like they have ways to prove that it's not, so it's inevitable that it's gonna look bad eventually when it goes to court. And you know, at this point, Marco is her lawyer, Nina's lawyer, and he's encouraging her to be like, no, you need to recant your story. Nathan, who had talked to Dante and asked his opinion on the Nina situation, went over there to check on her, and he agrees with Marco. Like, you need to recant your story because if you don't, it's gonna look far worse for Willow and for her, because they can go to jail for conspiracy to commit murder, even if neither of them did it. I still personally believe that Willow did it, and that she's just blocked it out of her memory. There's obviously sinister stuff to make us question everything, and that always frustrates me because they can really drag this out for as long as they want to, and I hate when like a whodunit gets unnecessarily drawn out. Because to that end, like Michael, I don't like. He's not admitted to planting the gun. He looks pretty guilty, but I just think that's too easy. And if he did plant the gun, I still don't think that he tried to kill Drew. Like I really don't. I think he saw who did it. I think he saw who did it. He was there. He admitted he was there to Tracy. He obviously got out of the car and he went back in. He didn't go into, presumably Michael telling the truth to Tracy. He didn't go into the house, but I think he saw who did it. And I think he saw that it was Willow. So, and Michael's already feeling some type of way about Willow's mental state, rightfully so, because he already suspects that she was the one messing with Daisy, and he's right. So, she's not mentally stable. She's got some things to work out, and to me, it's perfectly logical that Willow did this. A little off topic. Kai's off contract now. It is what it is. Austin, yeah, you said she doesn't remember. Yeah, like I think that she tried to do it and she blocked it out. I mean, the silhouette, and I don't know if that GH intentionally did it, but that silhouette looked so much like Willow. It looked so much like Willow, so much so that even Brad and Steve said so on their podcast. They're like, that looks like who we think it looks like, right? They said it. Like, so whether intentional or not, the Willow silhouette is the one that shot Drew. So unless someone disguised themselves as Willow, we won't know until the story is done. But, um, you know, Willow, on the other hand, she's like, Michael framed me. And I think that she has the right to think that, because he certainly had the window to do it. He was waiting for her at the house. He could have easily planted the gun. They had enough time between the warrants to do that. So there's all these things that sort of, make him look pretty guilty. But even Carly had a window to plant the gun. And I don't think that she did either. But, like, that's all, like, once this goes to trial, Martin just has to present reasonable doubt on Willow actually doing it, and sort of plant the seeds of, like, Michael or Carly could have planted these. They don't have alibis. They had access to Elizabeth's house. They were both at Elizabeth's house this week, or that last week when it was planted. So I don't know. I don't think the DA did it. It looked like Willow to me. The short bob hair. The DA does not have a short bob hair. Allison, she probably thinks Michael did it. Yeah, I think that she probably thinks that Michael did it. But whether she thinks that or not, she does ask Drew to pretend to remember seeing Michael. I guess my question is, I wonder if Drew knows that Willow's the one that shot him, and that she wasn't of sound mind when she did it. I don't know. I mean, he was face down, so, like, there's a good chance he didn't see who did it. But it also wouldn't surprise me if he saw that Willow did it, and because he knew that she was not in the right frame of mind as well, because I think he did realize, right, that Willow was messing with Daisy, because she was disappearing and reappearing from his house. Drew doesn't know. But Drew knows that she's not mentally stable. Like, I think Drew knows that much. Some people on Reddit think it was that other guy who wants Laura's job as mayor. It's plausible. But what would be his motive, though? I guess, like, you could be right too. That's a good theory. I just I know that he and Drew don't. I think he's kind of using Drew for his own political gain, but I don't know. You think Willow's a red herring? I don't know. You could be right, Kaiwan. I'm just not convinced that it's Michael. It is my only thing. My theory is leaning towards Willow, but I too would like it to be left field and it to be someone not obvious to the audience and not obvious to the story. Someone that we've not taken into consideration yet. Allison, he said he thinks it was Curtis and would rather frame Michael. Yeah, that's true. He does think it was Curtis. Forgot about that. Yeah, so he doesn't think Willow, but he thinks it's Curtis. Alright. Something else to mention, we'll quickly touch base on Ronnie. Brooklyn basically wants to sweeten things for Ronnie. I think partially because she does like her a little bit, but mostly because she wants her to allow them to continue to live in that house even though it's hers right now. Or to at the very least consider selling it back to the Hughes. So she's buttering her up a little bit. Tracy still thinks that Ronnie is running a con. I truly don't think Ronnie is running a con. I think that Martin erased part of the will, and instead of the house going to Tracy, I think he made it go to Ronnie. That is my theory. I don't think Ronnie has anything to do with it. She's been oblivious to who Monica is the whole time. Monica reached out to her. There's letters proving it on both sides. So I think it's really just as simple as Martin is trying to get back at the Qs. And he's using Ronnie to do it. And he's probably, he's probably trying to. I mean, we haven't seen it so much yet, but I think that he's going to try to convince her to screw the Qs over. But I don't think that Ronnie is currently running a con. Allison, you said as long as it's not Scout or Danny. I don't think it's going to be the kids. The silhouette was definitely an adult. I will say that. Who's going to be the lesbian lover of Ronnie? What? Who are you even talking about? Your conspiracy theories are wild, Kaiwan. They're all not going to happen. Every single one that you've ever said is not going to happen. But appreciate you for thinking outside the box, I guess. All right. Now, the funnier part of the show this week was Rick getting rescued unexpectedly by Cody and the dog. Of course, we've seen a dream sequence at first where Elizabeth's the one that rescued him, where like Cody's dog was with Elizabeth for some reason, which didn't make any sense. It was a bit dumb. It was a bit dumb. But yeah, so Cody rescued Rick, and he brings him to the house, and it's this whole crazy banana situation where like they're trying to be like, he tried to rob us of our money and this and this and this, and Cody was just like, you are all batshit crazy. I don't want anything to do with you. But before he could leave the house, Molly shows up, and she had been worried about her dad. Like, she was getting worried and sort of slowly getting the ball rolling on getting the cops involved. And she got Dante to ping Rick's phone, and it was traced in the area of Alexis's home. So that's why she goes there and discovers he's there. And he has to, on the cuff or off the cuff, just come up with a story as to what happened to him. And he's like, I ended up in a cult. It was not what I thought it was, and I was basically drugged, and I escaped and ran out into the woods, and Cody's dog found me, and and gave me first aid and brought me back here, and he looks like this big hero, and Cody's gonna have to sort of come to terms with whether he's gonna keep up this lie, so that Molly's not disappointed in him, because Molly was on the verge of admitting that she had feelings for him and was about to kiss him before she got interrupted. But yeah, there's just it was funny scenes, and that's part of why I love Nancy Lee Grahn and Rick so much. Rick Hurst, they act so well off of each other, and he does act well off of Maura West as well. And Kate Manzi as well. Like they just all have like good comedic energy within each other, and as stupid as the storyline was, it was also hilarious, and we got to see them do comedy. So that was like my main, like, I enjoyed it for as cringe-worthy as it was. And in the end, Ava got her money back, Alexis got her money back into Ace's account, and Rick's left high and dry money-wise, and seems to be keeping it a secret because he knows that if he admits what Alexis and Christina and Ava did to him, he'd go down and go to jail just like they would. So it was funny. And if it's the end of the story, then it's the end of the story. And it at least has Ava and Christina being put on ice now. They've kind of come to terms and like letting the past be the past and moving on with their lives. And Ava, to her credit, she even gave Christina the keys to the car, as like a sort of an olive branch, to be like, here, you can have this, before the money even went through, so that Christina could get rid of the car and the evidence already. So growth, and I hope they never do something as crazy as this ever again. Yeah, he doesn't want to hurt Molly either. That's true. He doesn't want to hurt Molly, and Molly had just admitted that she'd been getting along with Christina and Alexis so well, and he doesn't want to ruin that for her too. So he'll let bygones be bygones, and he'll probably think to never mess with Alexis again, because you never know what she's gonna do, especially if Christina's involved. Oh man. And then anyway, finally the last kind of talking point I want to get into is Carly finding out that Josslyn is in the WSB, which I'm shocked and impressed by. Um, so basically, um, Josslyn sort of admitted to Carly that Vaughn was in the WSB and acting all devastated in crocodile tears and all this. He's lying to her the whole time, and whatever. And then Carly invites Jason over and tells him about this, and he's just so angered by this because, well, first of all, because she was like, well, yeah, Jack lied and he kept me in the dark about Vaughn, but he did it. He said he assured me that Josslyn was safe, and that's when Jason snapped and he's like, you know what? No, Carly, you need to know this. Josslyn is also in the WSB. I saw her on a mission in Croatia. She saw Britt there. It is the truth. Like, I don't know all the ins and outs of how it happened, but he has to. He's like, I think it happened when she went on her Easter Island trip. I think that she was getting trained by the WSB. Um, yeah, Jason telling Carly. Yeah, he was gonna tell Carly. I guess my only thing was like I'm surprised that he was like really willing to put Britt at risk, but at the same time, like the fact that Carly was, I think Jason's main goal is to get Carly away from Jack because he knows that she can't trust him because he put her daughter in danger, and Jason knows how much danger Josslyn was in because Britt had to rescue her. So, like, I can see why he's angry. The thing that surprises me the most is that Carly is keeping it a secret from Josslyn that she knows. That surprised me. I thought she was going to confront her, and instead, I think Carly was trying to fish for Josslyn to tell her the truth in Friday's episode, but Josslyn kept her poker face. Um, but like Carly, I think Carly was really trying to get the truth out of Josslyn, but I don't know. She, for whatever reason, she's going the route to keep it in the dark that she is aware of Josslyn's title, mainly because she's fearing that it could put her in more danger. Um, Jack is there once again. It'll be interesting to see how she handles Jack at this point. I am curious about that. I think Harley's gonna go the sinister route here. I don't think she's going to let him know right away that she is aware of Josslyn being in the WSB. But I think she's gonna plot something to go against him or screw him over in a big way. We'll see. We'll see. Angel, you said Joss had that whole conversation with her mom and couldn't figure out her mom knows. I will never take Joss seriously as a spy. Yeah, it is really hard to take her seriously. Like Emma would be a more convincing spy to me, but we're left with what we're left with. She will confront her after she talks to Jack. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. I feel like I see Carly going the revenge route. Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see. Well, we're gonna see by Monday, obviously, by tomorrow. Um, but yeah, all in all, it was a pretty solid week on GH. I enjoyed it. It wasn't the most interesting week in compared to the last couple, but the stories are moving. The stories are moving, and that's a big part of it. Those were kind of like the main things that happened on this week's GH. If there's anything you guys want me to talk about before I end the stream in the next 5 minutes, let me know. And I'm saying 5 minutes because I do have to run to the store to get some allergy pills. Otherwise, I will suffer at work tomorrow. But yeah. I'll wait. I'll just kind of continue to just my overall thoughts. just to wrap things up, great week for GH. And especially in terms of the Emmy wins, they got the most awards, I think, and they cleaned house on like the biggest awards of the night. So, good for them. I am sad that you know the actors that won, aside from Nancy Lee Grahn, were essentially guest stars that are no longer on the show, like Heather and Lucky. But it was nice to see them with the cast and Gregory and Avery as well. But and I think I don't know if the actress that plays Blaze was there or if she was just at the after party. But it was nice. I like that we get to see Blaze and Marco take selfies together because they seem to get along well off screen, and they've never shared scenes on screen. I do hope we get to see Blaze and and Marco together sometime. Edmund, you're asking if I think Spinelli trusts Nathan? Um, I think right now he does. Obviously Felicia is worried that Nathan's going to take James. I don't see that happening. I think that Nathan is Nathan, and I think that he is going to respect that James needs stability right now while his mom's in a coma. I think he can eventually, maybe one day, claim James, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I really don't. Um, Kirsten Storms, she'll be off the show for a while. So it was announced this week as well that Kirsten Storms is undergoing more brain surgery. I don't know if this is why really she took a break from GH. She's apparently known about this for a bit, but she really alluded to, initially just being like, I'm moving to Nashville for multiple reasons, but mainly to give my daughter stability and all this stuff, and to get out of the LA sort of limelight. But I don't know if this surgery was factoring in, so I don't know if this is going to extend her um, her time off. I don't know. But there's still enough time because I think she's undergoing the surgery pretty soon, and she wasn't set to come back till December, so that's still enough time to heal, I think. We did get a Brad mention this week. Yeah, Britt decided to confront Lucas on why Brad left town, and I'm like, well, he left town for a payoff. But I don't remember if Lucas knows that or not. Blaze should return. I agree. Angelique said it's hard to tell if Spinelli is just jealous or suspicious. I don't think he's either. I think he's just worried that Nathan is going to take James because he loves that kid, and I think deep down, like Spinelli knows that technically Maxie is still married to Nathan with him being alive, unless it gets annulled because of the death. But they're still technically husband and wife, I think. So he's probably thinking about that, but there's nothing he can really do with Maxie being in a coma. He's just got to stay focused on the kids. His worry is that he won't have James. But I don't think we have to worry about Nathan taking James anytime soon. I think eventually he'll want to, but probably not before Maxie comes back. Austin says it's sad. I really like Kirsten. Kirsten, yeah. I mean, she's had brain surgery before. She had it in 2021, I believe. And she's come through. And she doesn't seem too scared. And she has Emmy Ryland, who used to play Lulu, as her best friend, who's been supporting her. She was there with her the first time round. I think she'll be there with her the next time round. So we'll see. We'll see. I think she'll pull through. I'm not too worried. I think the break is for the move and the surgery. I think you're probably right. She going to work in LA? Well, she did say when she moved to Nashville, that she's still determined to work as much as possible, but also in a way that gives her daughter a normal life. I mean, her daughter is getting older. She can be away from Maxie a little bit, or sorry, from Kirsten a little bit. So I don't know. I don't see it being an issue. And to be fair, like we don't see Maxie a whole lot anyway, even with her when she lived in LA. So I'm not too worried. I don't think it'll be like Lucky in the situation of like her she's gonna try. I think that Kirsten's she's a lot younger than Jonathan, and I think that she's determined enough, and she doesn't have a whole lot of other things going on, that she's not going to back out of flying back and forth, because she's not, she doesn't have huge amounts of story. She has just enough to keep us interested in her. Ultimately, I would have loved her to have as much screen time as she used to, but that I don't think that was ever in the cards, whether she moved to Nashville or not. So it just is what it is. But anyway, on that note, I think I'm gonna end the stream here. I don't think we will be live streaming on this Wednesday either. We'll see. Wednesdays are getting harder for me because there's just a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes in my life right now too. That's kind of making it hard to commit to 2 streams a week. But I'll always have the one, and hopefully things will calm down. By the end of the year, that I can kind of get back to normal and be more present in the YouTube space with you guys. Because I enjoy talking to you guys. It's always a lot of fun just talking about the show and hearing your guys' takes on what could be happening in the future. And even just checking in about my personal life with you guys is fun too. Because I know you guys are supportive of, whenever I'm getting up there on the stage, and that's really fun and nice to hear as well. And that you guys adore my drummer as much as I do. Again, happy birthday to AJ. He's 31, you guys, today. He's 31. He's the baby of the group, but we love him. Oh, man. But yeah, thanks so much for tuning into this live stream. If you liked it, give it a big old thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to. I'd really appreciate it. Now, catch you guys next weekend. I won't ever leave you, Edmund. I won't ever leave you. I'm here to stay. It's a matter of 1 or 2 streams a week. That is all, but I'm not leaving. As long as GH is on the air, I'm not leaving. Alright, good night. Mwah.